everybody. Welcome to Monday. It is 5:30, and so I guess it's time for us to get started. I'm really glad that you're here. For those of you who might be new to this class, welcome. This is the OLLI Beginning Yoga class, and my name is Amanda McIntire. I teach for OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute here at the University of Vermont, and they're making this class available to you for free through this summer, through continuing and distance education. So please do share the link, let other people know about the class, and if you're not already a member of OLLI, maybe you want to go on their website and check it out, see what kind of classes that they're offering, maybe become a member. A lot of really great programming through OLLI, including this class. So I'm glad that you're here, and if you're a regular, welcome back. It's a really beautiful day here in Vermont, so you may have some competing interests with yoga tonight, but we are here nevertheless, and I'm so glad that you are. This class is meant to be for you in whatever it is that you need during this hour together. Yoga might be very, very new to you, or maybe you've been doing it for a while now. Your goal tonight is to be in the present moment with your body and really listening to it. So if you've been doing all kinds of stuff outside today and you're pretty tired and you just really need some stretching, maybe you want to just really focus on deep stretching, and if we're getting kind of intense on some stuff, to back off. Or vice versa, if you've been sitting all day and you're looking for some energy and you want to push yourself a little bit further, do that. But you are the keeper of your own body wisdom, so listen to what's going on with whatever's going on tonight, whether it's your shoulder, your hip, headache, or nothing at all, which would be a really great thing. But feel free to modify as you need to make this practice something that's really accessible for your body. Again, I'm really glad that you're here. I hope that you had a nice 4th of July weekend. I did. Leading up to it, I definitely was feeling a little bit skeptical. It was kind of, it's kind of a funky time in our country and with COVID. And so as I was getting ready for the weekend, I'm thinking, oh, it's a holiday weekend. I've got to figure out, I'm traveling to see my family, and I'm taking some extra time. So what am I going to pack? How am I going to be ready in time? Are the stores going to be crazy because of the 4th? And then I realized the full moon was coming, which can bring its own complications sometimes, depending on what kind of a business you're in or how in tune you are with those kinds of things. I'm like, how am I going to take care of my garden? My dog is barking. All of the things as we start to prepare, even when we're going to do something that we're looking forward to. But in the back of my mind, I had this little bit of skepticism because I had a lot of stuff to do. And because things have been kind of clunky in life lately, I figured, I should probably get ready to wait or not have things go as smoothly as I might hope that they would. So what I did was I let go of any expectation, and I decided to go with the flow. I thought, why don't I just do the best that I can, because I can't possibly do any better than that, and see what happens. Let go of any expectations. If my garden doesn't get watered, it doesn't get watered. If I forget to bring a pair of shorts with me, I guess I'll figure it out somehow. And as I started to let go and go with the flow, I started to find that things began to move a little bit more easily. And it was like my synapses were firing at work. I was able to handle some challenging situations, got my dog to listen to me, my garden is flourishing, figured out that Hamilton was this weekend, so I got to watch that with my family just as it started to rain. So it was just like, I just got into this flow, and it was like everything that I was touching or doing was working out really, really well. So I wanted to share that with you, because I think that oftentimes we find that we are aware of those days where we're touching things and they're falling apart, and they're not necessarily going smoothly. And while I don't know if my choice to go with the flow influenced my reality, I'd like to think that it does, it at the very least had a positive influence on me spiritually, psychologically, and energetically. In positive psychology, they call it a flow state, when you're like in it. You're fully immersed, doing the thing, and doing it really, really well. In the yoga practice, they also have this idea of flow, or of going with the flow. And actually, if you're familiar at all with the chakras, which are these various energy systems that we have in the body that are part of the yoga practice, there is the second chakra, which is about 4 fingers below your belly button, is the energy center that is about fluidity. It's about creativity. And it is the area that allows us to go with the flow, or maybe causes us to be a little bit controlling of things, which is definitely what I was trying to do before I managed to let go a little bit. So this area, the sacral chakra, when it's in balance, we're able to easily maneuver with challenges, just the way that when a river is moving and there's a rock in the way, it just goes right around it. It doesn't let the obstacle stop it. When we're not balanced in that chakra, that's when we start to be holding on to things. We start to make things more difficult for ourselves by either being controlling or going too much with the flow and having no accountability or having no decisiveness. So we're looking for something that's in the middle. This physical yoga practice that we do is a really amazing way to be able to incorporate some flow not only into the body but into your energy and into your spirit. In the physical yoga practice, flow means moving from one posture into another. It involves connecting the movement and the breath. So we're going to be doing some of that in class together tonight. We're going to activate that second chakra, and we're going to be flowing through some postures together. Flowing in yoga postures can be really empowering. And if you know where your feet go, and you know where your hips are, and you know what the flow is that we're doing, that can be really relaxing, strengthening, empowering, pretty much whatever it is that you need. But when you're a beginner, sometimes that flow can be a little bit sticky as you start to figure out what the posture is and where we're going with things. So if you're in that latter category where you're still kind of figuring out how to do this whole yoga thing, I invite you to let go and do your best to go with the flow. There's no perfection in this. This is just about you playing around on your mat, doing these yoga poses, trying to get some more movement through the body, through the mind, and through your heart. So we're going to do a little bit of flowing. You're going to be kind to yourself. Take any kind of break that you need to. Go deeper if you need to. And we'll begin by finding a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you tonight. And make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you're sitting on a block. I'm sitting on a yoga block right now. Or you can be sitting on a mat or a blanket. Your legs can be crossed, but you can also have the knees bent if that's more comfortable, or extend the legs out. Find something that works for you that's sustainable and allows you to sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your knees or thighs. Bring the shoulders on the back as you bring the chest slightly forward, tucking the belly in. And then just bring your shoulders up by your ears. Let them relax down on the back, still keeping the ribs nice and tucked in. And then close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze as you allow yourself to arrive in your seat and on your mat. And begin to connect to the flow of your breath. Allow it to move as easily as possible in through the nose, allowing the lungs, chest, and ribs to expand. Exhaling slowly, still out through the nostrils, letting the chest fall, allowing the belly to pull in at the end of the breath. And once you've got all that CO2 out, you'll repeat by inhaling and expanding the belly, broadening the chest, taking a nice, full, deep breath in, and then slowly exhaling, letting all the air out. And think of this flow of breath maybe like the ocean. On an inhale, tide is pulling out to sea, gathering some strength. As you exhale, the waves are crashing on the shore. The water's pressing up as far as it will go. And once all of the air is out, the ocean is up as high as it can be, you begin to inhale, drawing the breath in as the water recedes. And take a few more of these full, flowing breaths, perhaps using some ocean imagery of the water flowing in and the water flowing out. With each inhale, keep sitting up a little bit taller, a little brighter in your seat. With every exhale, relaxing through the muscles of the face, through the shoulders, while still sitting up nice and tall. Bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart while you keep sitting up nice and tall, still breathing. We'll continue this flow of breath by chanting the sound of Om together, and we'll chant it just one time. You can chant it as loudly or as softly as you would like, but continue this flow of breath following my cue. Take a full exhale and a deep inhale for Om. Release your hands and gently let your eyes flutter open. Bring your hands to your knees or thighs and keep sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to begin by just flowing from side to side. So this is a gentle sway. And you might start by rocking from side to side if you're having difficulty articulating each part of the body. But think about shifting over through the shoulder and the hip and the head from side to side. And if you're sitting on a block, maybe if this feels a little stiff, you want to try sitting off the block or vice versa. And then we'll get the head into it a little bit more. So see if you can bring your head and then shoulders over to the side, head and then shoulders over to the right, head and then shoulders over to the left, head and shoulders over to the right. One more time, head, then shoulders, and hips follow over to the left, and then come back to center, and begin to do some circles in this seat. And I think I'm going to remove my block here, but you do what works best for your body. We're all different in the hips and through the low back, so find what feels good. But I'm sitting directly on the floor. Hands are on the knees as I do some circles here, shifting the weight forward and back. Remembering where that second chakra is, just below the belly button, getting some action there. We'll switch directions. Bringing the chest forward as you move forward, pulling the belly in, hollowing the chest as you move back. And then come up to sitting neutral spine, nice and tall. Extend both legs straight out in front of you for Dandasana or staff pose. Your legs are as straight as they can be, but if you need a little soft bend, that's fine. Feet are flexed so that they're nice and active, and bring your fingertips on either side of the hips and sit up nice and tall. From here, lift your right leg ever so slightly, relax the foot, and do some circles with your right ankle. And switch direction with the circles. Still sitting up tall in Dandasana. Getting some action going on in the right quad. All right, relax the foot, flex it and lower it to the floor. Do any adjusting you need to. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll lift the left foot just ever so slightly off of the mat. Relax the foot and do some circles with the ankle. make any adjustments that you need to make this more accessible for you. Switch circles, directions. And so that means if you do need to put your hands back here to be able to access this foot circle, that's okay. We got a couple of different things going on here, so do your best. Let go of any expectations and just try to go with the flow. All right, relax the foot and lower the leg back down. Sit up nice and tall, really proud in the chest. Inhale to float your fingertips up. Exhale, hinge forward, releasing your hands wherever's comfortable. Find a nice long neck and spine here. Let that breath just flow in and out of you. Reach through your fingertips, bringing the arms up overhead as your torso rises back up. And then lower your fingertips down to the floor on either side, still sitting up nice and tall in Dandasana. Turn your head towards the right to take a look over the right shoulder. And then make your way through center over to the other side, taking a look over the left shoulder. Bring the head back to center. Tip the right ear to the right shoulder. Gently drop your chin down towards your chest. Keep the shoulders relaxed if you find that they're starting to move up towards your ears. Once you reach the left side, slowly drop the chin, making your way back over towards the right, and then bring your head back to center. Nice. Bring your legs around behind you. We're going to come into a tabletop position on all fours. And I decided to wear my flowy outfit today because we were doing a flow class. So I apologize if you can't see all of my limbs. I will do my best. But I wanted to go with the flow and the theme. So find yourself in tabletop. We've got the hips aligned over the knees. The shoulders are aligned over the wrists. And once again, we're going to draw some circles, moving the body forward and back, getting some movement through the hips, through the abdominals. Make sure you're breathing here and really make the circles as big as you can. Shift your weight all the way forward. You're almost laying on your stomach as you do that. Hips go all the way back like in child's pose. And then we'll switch directions. And remember, if this is tough on your knees, you can always fold the mat. You can stick a blanket under there. Or if you just know this is a bad idea for your knees, you can try something different. You can try coming back to a seat and doing the circles we already did. All right, and then come to stillness. Bring your big toes together. Let your knees go wide. Move your hips back towards your heels, coming into a child's pose. Your fingertips are reaching towards the top of the mat. Your forehead is towards the mat, perhaps connecting with the floor, maybe hovering just above. You're moving your hips away from the crown of your head so that the spine is nice and long. Full breaths here. On an inhale, make your way up to tabletop on all fours. Walk your knees back a couple of inches, tuck your toes, press into the hands, and inhale, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. So feet are hips distance apart, hands are shoulder width apart or wider. On an inhale, lower the knees, point the toes. As you exhale, move your hips back towards your heels for child's pose. Inhale to come up to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, move your hips up and back to downward facing dog. We're going to do this flow a few more times. As you inhale, lower the knees, point the toes. As you exhale, move your hips back. Come on into child's pose, Balasana. Inhale, come up to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Exhale, move your hips up and back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lower the knees to tabletop. Point the toes. Exhale, hips go back. Child's pose. Inhale, come up to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, move the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. In this down dog, pedal the feet out here. If you're feeling like you're really scrunched up in the shoulders, maybe it feels good to widen your hands a little bit, so widening towards the edges of the mat. The creases of your wrists are parallel with the front of the mat, so hopefully the fingers are pointing forward. You're pressing into the heels of the hands, pressing into the fingertips, nice and strong in the belly and the inner thighs. Let that breath flow in and out of you. And then walk your hands back towards your feet so that you're in a forward fold at the back of your mat. So feet are hips distance apart. We're folded forward at the hips, and your knees are as straight as they can be, but certainly have a bend to them if you need to. And depending on what your low back is like, maybe it feels good to have your forearms on your thighs rather than folding all the way forward. Yogi's choice here. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms wide and all the way up overhead. Exhale and bring your hands together at heart center. Nice. All right. So here we are, back of the mat. Find mountain pose or Tadasana. So feet are hips distance apart and parallel. Second toe is aligned with the ankle, the knee, and the hip. Feet are pressing into the floor. Legs are active. Core is active. You're standing up nice and tall. Lots of length. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Bend your knees as deeply as you can, pressing all the air out. Inhale to a flat back. So bring your hands to your thighs. Tuck your elbows in as you look at the floor. Exhale to bend your knees, folding as deeply as you can once again. And on an inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms wide as they come up overhead. Come on up to standing. Connect the palms, exhale, and bring them to heart center. We'll do that flow a couple more times. Inhale and reach up. Take a look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold all the way forward. Bend your knees really deeply here. Inhale, halfway to a flat back. Hands on the thighs, nice flat spine. Exhale, bend the knees deeply once again as you fold forward. Press into the feet. Inhale, arms reach wide. Come all the way up. Take a look up. Connect the palms. Exhale, and hands come to your heart. One more time. Inhale and reach up. Strong in the belly, open through the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Bend the knees really deeply here as you fold. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Exhale, bend the knees really, really deeply. One more time. And as you inhale, press into the feet. Reach the arms wide. Come all the way up. Connect the palms. Exhale, and bring your hands to your heart. Find mountain pose back here at the back of your mat, tall and strong. Inhale to float the arms up. And then exhale, once again, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward, bringing your fingertips towards the floor. You might need to bend your knees to get there. And we're going to make our way forward to plank, which is the top of a push-up. So in plank, we have the shoulders over the wrists. The legs are straight. You're up on your toes, so the heels are lifted. Core is nice and strong. You're looking out on the floor ahead of your mat. If you want a little extra challenge here, you're welcome to float your right foot off of the floor a little bit, just a couple of inches. If you don't need any extra challenge today, then don't worry about it. Just keep breathing. If your right foot is lifted, you can lower the toes and we'll switch sides. So you can hover the left toes off of the floor. Remember, you're in charge. There's no expectations here. So if you need to drop your knees and take a break, you're welcome to do that. If your left toes are lifted, lower them. And then lower your knees, point your toes, and bring the torso all the way down to the mat. Legs are straight and toes are pointed. Hands under the shoulders. As you inhale, gently peel the chest up off the mat. Nice long neck. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale. Press into the hands as the chest lifts this time, using some of the strength in your arms to bring the chest a little higher. And exhale to release back down. Bring your hands out on the outside of the mat and come onto your fingertips, kind of like gecko hands. Arms are at a bit of a 90-degree angle. This time, exhale, peel the chest off as you press into the fingertips. And then take a look over the right shoulder. If you find that you start to do that and that doesn't feel good in the low back, then don't do that. But otherwise, see if you can take a look to the right. Exhale your way through center and over to the left. Exhale your way back to center, lowering the chest back down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes and make your way back to downward facing dog. You can go through plank or you can go through tabletop to get there. It's up to you. And then walk your feet up towards your hands so that you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat. Bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms wide, come on up. Connect the palms, exhale, and bring your hands to your heart. Nice job. Shake it out a little bit. Got a little bit of flow going, maybe got some blood pumping a little bit. So find yourself at the top of your mat in mountain pose with your feet hips distance apart and parallel. And we're going to do a little bit of flowing from side to side. And it might take you a little bit to get into this flow, or maybe you'll grab it right away. But we'll begin on the left side. So feel your left foot rooted. Your arms are down by your sides. On a 4 count, taking your time, we're going to inhale, starting to shift the weight into the left foot, raising the arms, and seeing if you can get this right foot maybe off the floor, maybe you get just to a toe, wherever you're at's okay. As the palms connect, we'll exhale, taking our time to the count of 4, lowering the right foot down. Begin to shift your weight into the right foot, and as we inhale, take your time. 2, 3, 4. See if you can lift the foot up off of the mat or maybe the knee up to hip height. Connect the palms, exhale. 2, 3, 4 to lower the foot and shift to the left. Inhale, take your time. 2, 3, 4. If you're up on your toe and working on that, that's perfect. Great job. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. 2, 3, 4. Lower the right foot, switch sides. Press into the right foot. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Connect the palms. Take your time. Exhale. 2, 3. And do a couple more of these in your own time and in your own breath. The slower you go, the more of a challenge it is. And that's what we're looking for tonight, is a slow flow here. Inhale to lift. And exhale to drop. And come to mountain pose. All right, we've got this balance going on. We know how to do this flow from side to side, so find your mountain. Feel your left foot firmly rooted. Start to shift your weight. Once again, pressing into the left foot, inhaling, making the right foot nice and light. Maybe you're up on your toe. Maybe you can lift the foot. Bring your hands to heart center, wherever you are, and slowly exhale to step your right toes back to a high lunge. So in a high lunge, your back heel is lifted. So you're on the back toes and the back leg is straight. Your front knee aligns with the front ankle. Release your arms down by your sides with your palms facing forward. Make sure that your feet have a nice width to them so that you're not on a tightrope, maybe more like on railroad tracks with your feet. Inhale, float the arms up. See if you can lift the gaze as your fingertips lift. Connect the palms, exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, palms lift. Keep hugging in at the belly, squeezing in at the thighs. If this is challenging your balance, we're going to do a few more of these sun breaths here in Crescent Warrior. Inhaling to reach up. Exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. And then on an inhale, we're going to twist to the left. So your right fingertips are in front of you, your left hand is behind, and you're twisting towards the bent knee. On an exhale, unwind back to center, bringing your hands to your heart. Then the hands come to the hips. press into the front foot with as much control as you can. Bring the foot all the way forward and shake it out a little bit. So how you doing? I hope that you're going with the flow and that you're letting go of this a little bit. This is all about just practicing. That's why yoga is called a practice. So there's no perfection involved, just playing around. Find yourself again in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Make sure your breath is flowing smoothly in and out. Begin to pour your weight into your right foot as you inhale, starting to free the left, maybe getting up to the big toe, maybe getting the foot off of the floor as you bring your hands to your heart. And then, with as much flow and control as you can, a little balance there, gently exhale and step the left toes back to a high lunge. And then do any adjustments you need to really get the most out of this lunge. Maybe it's scooting the left toes back more. Maybe it's moving your right foot more towards the right side of the mat. Release your arms down by your sides with your palms facing straight ahead. Stay strong in the belly and strong in the inner thighs here. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Take a look up. Lift the hands. Exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale. Once again, reach up. Take a look up. Exhale. Hands come to heart center. Inhale to lift and rise. Exhale to release. One more time. Inhale, arms sweep wide. Take a look up, nice and strong in the legs and belly. Exhale and bring your hands to your heart. And then on an inhale, we'll open to the right side with a twist. So your left hand is in front of you, your right hand is behind. You're twisting towards the bent knee. As you exhale, gently come back to center. Nice. Hands come to the hips. Kick off the back foot and come on up to the top of your mat. Shake it out a little bit if that feels good for you. And then find your mountain pose once again, nice and tall. Strong in the core, relaxed in the shoulders. Inhale and float the arms up. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky as you press your feet into the floor. And then exhale and hinge at the hips, folding forward for Uttanasana or forward fold. Take a few deep breaths here. Let the neck relax. Let your jaw be soft. Let the breath flow in and out of you. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. Exhale and bring your hands to heart center. Nice. Step your right foot back for Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, we're taking a big stance here. The back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, and your front heel lines up with the back arch. We bend into the front knee. Your back leg is straight, and we're trying to line up the front knee with the front ankle. On an inhale, your arms will come up to a T, and then turn your head to take a look over your front hand, which is the left hand. Make sure this front knee is pointing towards the second toe, so you're keeping some nice openness through the thighs and hips here. On an inhale, bring your right hand down the back leg, flip the front palm, and then gently arch back for Exalted Warrior. As you inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Exhale, bring the front elbow to the front thigh. Reach the right fingertips up overhead for side angle pose. Inhale and come back to Warrior Two. I'm going to give you a side view of this as we move through this flow in case you're not able to see my back leg. So we're in Warrior Two. Exhale, back hand goes down the back leg. Reach the front arm up. Keep bending into the front knee. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Exhale, front arm comes to front thigh. Reach the back hand up overhead. Exhaling to side angle pose. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Exhale, right hand goes down the back leg. Reach the front arm up. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. Exhale, come to side angle, front arm to the front thigh, reach through the back fingertips, and gently come back to warrior two. Nice job. Release that, bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot and come on up to the top of your mat. Shake it out a little bit. All right, so that was one side. Hopefully you got a sense of the flow on that one. We're gonna do the other side. So step your left foot back for warrior two. Again, a nice wide stance. Like even if you have really short legs, you should be using the majority of the mat. Back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel aligns with the back arch, bending into the front knee while the back leg's nice and straight. Inhale your arms up to a T, and then turn to take a look over your right hand. On an exhale, drop the back hand down the back leg. Flip the right palm, arching up and back as you keep bending into the front knee. No weight on that back hand because you're so strong in the legs. Inhale to come back to warrior two. Exhale, front elbow to front thigh. Reach the back fingertips up overhead. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, left hand down the back leg. Reach up and back for exalted warrior. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, reach for side angle pose, front arm to the front thigh, lots of space around the ears. And inhale, back to warrior two. Nice job. All right, bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot and come on up to the top of the mat. Shake it out a little bit and find mountain pose here. Inhale and float the fingertips up. Nice tall Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Inhale up halfway to a flat back. And exhale to release. Head hang. Gently shake the head, yes and no. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come on up to standing. Come to the middle of your mat and come to a wide stance. So my feet are off of the edges of my mat, and I've got them at a 45-degree angle. So that's like heels are turned in a little bit. Come on into a squat, aligning the knees with the toes. So avoid having the knees point inward with the toes outward. We want to have some nice alignment. That's going to keep you nice and strong and open in the hips and protect the knees. Bring your arms up to 90 degrees, cactus arms or goddess arms for goddess pose. Steady breath here. And hey, if you've been waiting for this, you want to go a little bit deeper in this posture, you're welcome to do that. It's a great opportunity. Steady breath. Feel it flowing in and out of you as the energy moves through your body. Inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs for 5-pointed star. Create as much space as you can between your fingers and your arms and your eyebrows and your ears. Everything you can, create space. On an exhale, come back to goddess pose. So bend the knees, bring the arms to 90 degrees. And then place the left forearm on the left thigh, reach the right arm overhead. Inhale through center, right arm to right thigh, left arm overhead. Inhale, come through center as we flow from side to side, staying strong in the legs. Over to the right side. We'll do each side one more time. Come on over to the left. Stay strong in the legs. Great job. One more time over to the right side. Right arm to right thigh. Reach through the left fingertips. Inhale to come back to goddess pose. If you're hanging in there, good job. If you're taking a break and taking care of yourself, good job. All right, here we go. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Ah, nice work. Excellent. Bring your hands to your hips and come on up to the top of your mat. Find mountain pose once again. Close your eyes for a moment and just notice what your body feels like right now. Can you feel energy flowing through your body? Can you feel all this oxygenated blood flowing through the body? Maybe you're not feeling anything, and if you're not, that's okay too. We're just tuning in to see what's going on. Inhale to float your fingertips up Take a look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. You're going to step your right foot back to a lunge. We're bending into the front knee, so the front knee is aligned with the front ankle. Your fingertips or palms are connected to the floor or to blocks, and your shoulders are down away from your ears. Keep your right hand connected to the floor or a block and reach your left fingertips up for a twist. Exhale to lower the left hand back down and make your way back to plank. Top of a push-up, you can drop your knees or swing the leg back, whichever you like. But find a nice, strong plank here, looking out on the floor ahead of the mat. You can either do a reverse push-up, lowering down in one straight line, or you can join me in dropping the knees, pointing the toes, and lowering your torso all the way down to the mat. Elbows are tucked in, legs are straight with your toes pointed, hands under the shoulders. Exhale, gently peel your chest up off of the mat. And exhale to lower back down. Tuck your toes. We're going to make our way back to downward dog. You can push up through plank. You can go through tabletop. But we'll all meet in downward facing dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then starting with the right foot, walk your way up to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Feet are hips distance apart and parallel. Bring your hands to your hips so you're really rooting yourself down. Press into the feet and come on up to standing. Release your arms down by your sides. Of course, that was one half of one of the most famous yoga flows, which is a sun salutation. Inhale, float the fingertips up. It's also called Surya Namaskara A in Sanskrit. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. This time, left foot steps back to a lunge. And then make any adjustments that you need to make this lunge work for you. So maybe that means scooting your right foot more towards the edge of the mat. Hands are connected to the floor or blocks. And then left hand connects as you inhale and sweep the right fingertips up for a twist. As you exhale, gently release the right hand back down and make your way back to plank. Top of a push-up, however works best for you. Nice and strong. Give yourself credit for doing this practice tonight, giving it your best effort, going with the flow, letting go of whatever's not working for you. And then you can either lower down in one straight line or you can drop the knees, point the toes, and come on down to the floor so that you're laying on your belly. Hands are under the shoulders. As you exhale, gently peel the chest up off of the mat. Exhale to lower back down. Tuck your toes and work your way back to downward dog. You can go through tabletop or through plank. When you find your down dog, pedal the feet out a little bit here, alternating, bringing each heel closer to the floor, getting some movement in the hips. And then come to stillness with the legs. Starting with your left foot, walk your way forward to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Bring your feet hips distance apart and parallel. Have your legs as straight as they can be, but again, if you need to have them bent, that's perfect. Just do the best that you can. Bring your hands to your hips, press into the feet, and come on up to standing. Whew, nice job. Shake it out a little bit if you need to. Take a drink of water if you need to. And let's find ourselves back in the middle of the mat. Shake it out if you need to. Standing up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Inhale and float the arms up. Exhale and sit back for Utkatasana or fierce pose. Keep the hips moving back. Keep the knees pointing straight ahead. Bring your hands to heart center. Exhale to straighten the legs, hinge forward, and open up the backs of the legs here for Uttanasana. Hands are connected to whatever they can touch. So maybe it's the floor, maybe it's a block, shins, thighs, whatever you got. Make a nice connection. Find a nice long spine as you open up the backs of the legs. Bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. Connect the palms and bring your hands to your heart. Nice job. Let's go down to a seat. All right, so we've been exploring all of this different kind of flow, and as we talked about in class last week, flowing from a sitting position, or sitting rather, kind of stops flow in terms of energy and blood moving through the body, but we still have to sit, so we might as well find some flow when we're sitting. So we'll begin with the legs extended straight out in front. Fingertips on either side, sit up nice and tall. Inhale to float the arms up. Exhale. Hinge at the hips, but lead with the chest and release your hands wherever is comfortable. Find a nice long spine. Notice I'm not reaching all the way for my toes, because if I did, my shoulders would come up by my ears. So nice long spine. Inhale and float the arms up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lead with the heart, hinge at the hips, and fold forward. Find a nice long spine. Think about the head and the neck extending out of the shoulders, maybe like a turtle's head. Nice long neck. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, lift the torso, lift the arms. Exhale, fingertips come down by your sides. One last time. Inhale, fingertips lift. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep the belly and ribs tucked in. Lead with your chest. Exhale, hinge forward, releasing your hands wherever helps you still keep a nice long neck here. Nice. And one last time, reach through the fingertips. Inhale and come all the way up. Exhale and release. Bend your right knee, placing the right foot on the floor, and bring your hands around the right shin, and use that to help you sit up nice and tall. Now you decide how close your foot is to the extended leg. We're going to be twisting, so you want to make sure that there's room for your body. And if you're feeling extra twisty today, maybe you even can cross this right foot over to the left side of the leg. Now if you do that, make sure your weight stays even in your hips and that this foot stays grounded. Otherwise, we get a little bit uneven. I have short legs, so that's a difficult one for me, so I keep my foot here. But you can experiment, play around with what works best. Find a nice tall spine wherever you're at. And then gently bring your right fingertips behind you. The fingertips connect to the floor relatively close to the body, because this is a bit of like a kickstand to help prop you up. And then we're going to bring the left arm on the outside of the bent knee for a twist. And again, you can experiment with how far this right foot is from the extended leg. You might find that moving it out towards the edge of the mat makes it more comfortable, or vice versa, moving the foot closer to the leg. With each inhale, sit up a little taller. As you exhale, twist a little bit deeper if that's a good idea for your body tonight. As you exhale, gently unwind back to center, and we'll switch sides. So extend the right leg out, bring the left knee in, foot on the floor, hands around the shins so you sit up nice and tall. And then you decide on this side how far or close the foot is from the leg, or maybe you're crossing it over for an extra twisty kind of action tonight. But wherever you're at, nice tall spine. Left fingertips come to the floor just behind the hips. Right arm on the outside of the bent knee as we twist towards the left. Inhaling to lengthen the spine. Exhaling to twist a little bit deeper. And remember, that twist is coming from the lowest part of the spine first, then all the way up through the chest, the shoulders, with the head turning last. On an exhale, gently unwind back to center. Nice job. Scoot on up to the top of your mat so that your knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Extend your arms out in front of you and sit up nice and tall. And then doing your best to keep your feet connected to the floor. As we exhale, we're going to just gently and slowly lower down to the mat. And you can go as quickly or as slowly as you'd like. I encourage you to take your time, but if you're at the point in the evening where you're just ready to lay down on that mat, go for it. Otherwise, take advantage of this opportunity to use your abdominal muscles. Remember, feet stay as grounded as they can. And once your shoulders have connected, let yourself relax. Walk the feet in towards the body so that your knees are bent and the feet are hips distance apart. And then find a nice long spine here with a nice long neck. So that means nestling the shoulders down on the back, maybe pressing the low back a little bit into the floor. Bring your hands down by your sides with your palms face down. Gently press into the feet a little bit here so that you're activating your quads and your inner thighs. So just a little press. We're not quite lifting the hips yet, just getting the legs activated. Arms are by your sides with the palms face down. Gently press into the feet and slowly on an inhale, lift the hips up off of the mat, floating them up as high as they go. When they can't go any further, as you exhale, slowly reverse this motion, bringing the hips back down towards the floor. Before they completely rest on the mat, inhale again, pressing into the feet, taking your time as you fill your lungs and lift the hips simultaneously. Once you're full of breath and can't lift the hips any higher, begin to exhale, slowly lowering. Remember to keep those knees pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Before the hips become too relaxed, once again, inhale to flow the hips up for this bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Get the hips up as high as they go. Exhale and slowly lower the hips back down. One more time. Press into the feet. Inhale and lift the hips up. And we're going to pause this time as the hips are lifted. And you can stay here, or if you're feeling really open through the upper body, maybe you can roll your outer upper arms underneath you, clasping your hands and pressing your knuckles towards your heels. Only do that if that feels like a nice added bonus to you. Otherwise, just do your best to maintain the integrity of this bridge pose. If your hands are clasped, unclasp them. And then everyone gently lower your hips back down to the floor. Let the tailbone and the hips relax once they connect to the mat. And then bring your knees in towards your chest and gently rock from side to side, front and back, whatever feels good here. Lower your feet to the floor and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring both legs into the chest. And if you can, wrap your hands around the back of the left thigh or shin if you're feeling really open. We're working on stretching through the hips and the hamstrings here. With every exhale, letting go, letting the energy flow. And then we'll gently switch sides. So cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Legs are pulled in towards the body. And if you can, hands go around the back of the right thigh or shin. This can also be a nice place for a strap if you have one, if the hands don't quite connect. Check in with your breath. If this is really intense in your hips, use your breath to soften them. On your next exhale, release both feet down to the floor. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees be wide with your arms down by your sides for reclined bound angle pose. Your feet can be as close to your body or as far away from your body as you'd like, but the soles are connected. With every exhale, just relax through the hips. And this is going to be our final posture before Shavasana tonight. And if this feels good, you are more than welcome to stay right here. And you, of course, can always adjust your Shavasana if you need to. So this is one pretty great option for opening up through the hips. But for some of us, this doesn't feel so good. So another option is to plant your feet at the edges of the mat and let your knees fall in on each other. For me, it helps to kind of point my toes in towards each other as well. You just let your knees relax on one another, so there's no effort. And this helps to alleviate some stress on the low back. And you might find this to be a nice version of Shavasana. If you want to go traditional, extend your legs straight out on the mat with your feet mat width apart, and let your feet just relax off to the sides. Arms are down by your sides with your palms face up. Make sure that your shoulder blades are nestled down on your back like little wings in whatever version of Shavasana that you're in. Close your eyes. Feel that firm support of the floor beneath you. And just allow the effects of this flowing practice to integrate into your body, into your mind, into your spirit. And just rest here. There is no more effort, and I will guide you out when we're done. So just let that breath flow and enjoy your Shavasana. Slowly allow your breath to deepen. And let some movement return back to your toes, to your fingers. Just a little bit of movement. On an inhale, reach your arms up overhead and extend your legs out nice and long for one long final stretch. And then hug your knees in as you roll onto your right side. Just pausing for a moment on the right side, using your arm as a pillow. Keeping your eyes closed and using as little effort as possible, make your way up to a nice, tall seat. When you find that seat, bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart. I hope that you can take this idea of flow off of the mat and into your world. If we let go of some things, expectations, control, whatever that might be, and go with the flow, we can often find that obstacles disintegrate and we can just move forward like a path, like a river. Oftentimes the yoga practice, this physical practice we just did, can help bring that flow state on. So I hope you feel a little bit of that as we leave the mat tonight. We're going to close by chanting Om, and we'll chant it just one time. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you with great respect. Namaste. Thanks so much for coming to class tonight. I wish you flow in your days to come. Even just a little bit of a taste of it would be nice. I hope that you enjoyed the practice, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.